So this is what my mustache looks like when I don't wax it and oil it and turn it up. It's starting to kind of do it on its own. But the biggest challenge by a mile is the fact that I can't cut any of this in the middle, and it just like comes down because I have to brush it all to the side. Not that any of you guys care, but that is the intro for today's video. Today, we're going to be talking about the best run defensive tip that you're going to see all year long in Madden 22. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zan for the Zan Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a tip that's going to help your run defense. This is going to transcend scheme, defensive front, whatever you guys run. I'm going to show you guys a tip that will immediately improve your run defense. So that tip is how to manually lock in your user, so that way you will not basically be slow to respond when the ball is snapped. As you guys know, the name of the game, especially for players that play in the 2-4-5 odd and the dollar, is basically putting all the onus of stopping the run on the user. The best players in those defenses tend to be able to gap shoot effectively against shotgun and under center runs, but the ones that struggle are the ones that can't gap shoot and stop the run effectively. Many of you guys know where to stand. The game is kind of one-dimensional in that regard, so this tip is going to kind of show you where to stand. But in general, you could go ahead and lock your player in any place on the field. So let's go ahead and take the field with our Super Bowl competitors. How about that matchup, by the way? We got Joe Burrow and the Panthers. It's Monday, man. We got Joe Burrow and the Bengals against Matt Stafford and the Rams. And I think that the matchup in that game is going to be totally dictated up front, whether that's Aaron Donald and Von Miller doing what we expect and dominating the Bengals offensive line, or if Joe Burrow can stand in the fire and make those throws to his insane receiving core. But let's go ahead and show you how to gap shoot. So what you're going to do is choose a defense that you guys like. I'm actually going to take you guys into the vault and kind of show you how I gap shoot out of 2-4-5 and 2-3-6 here today. And you're going to basically use the lock-in tip. And the lock-in tip is very, very simple. Take your user, place him where you want. So I'm going to move Jalen Ramsey right here to this spot. Once you have the spot that you want to put them in to lock them in, you're going to hit A. That's going to be X on PlayStation. And then you're going to flick the right stick up for man coverage. Once you are to this menu where it shows you the individual coverage and the receivers get the icons over their heads, it doesn't matter what you do on the left stick. Your player will not move. So if I spin this in circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, doesn't matter, up, down, left, right, he will not move. So from there, you basically want to hold the stick down where the hole is going to open up. I would highly recommend that you guys go into practice mode, choose the defense that you want to run, whether that's 2-4-5, 2-4-5 odd, 3-3-5 wide, dollar. You guys get the drift. You're going to put the guy where you want, and then you're going to run a play trying to shoot the gap. And then if the player doesn't come in clean, you're going to use instant replay to figure out how to clean it up. But I know from this tip that basically you stand behind the outside linebacker and you're going to hold down and to the inside, basically running at the inside shoulder of the left tackle, number 73. And when the ball's snapped, you're going to fly in untouched and you can make a tackle on the ball carrier. I would highly recommend that when you do this, you don't go for a hit stick. I feel like EA has put in kind of a little bit of a user gap shoot buffer, basically meaning that if you try to hit stick a guy as soon as he takes the handoff, they do tend to break those tackles. So you see right there that I've done that twice in a row with a high hit stick. Maybe it's just a delta in terms of the tackle rating against Mixon's break tackle. You're going to have much, much better luck if you lock him in and then just do a conservative tackle like I do right here. And you see how I can get him in the backfield. I don't try to blow it up and have a, a crazy hit stick. If you guys are enjoying this free YouTube content, I would strongly urge you to go over to my strategy website. GridironGameplans.gg is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active, and access to our Discord server, where every single Wednesday, we have a live lab session covering the week's vault content and any questions you guys have about Madden. So make sure you guys head over to GridironGameplans.gg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. Now, if you want to put like Enforcer or something like that on a dedicated user for the purpose of this tip, you could probably guarantee some of those hit stick tackles. But again, the tip is just to kind of lock them in And again, you see when I go for that hit stick, he's going to break that every time. So it's really, really important that you guys do a conservative tackle by hitting the A button or X on PlayStation. So again, very, very simple. You know, I can go ahead and put him wherever I want. Hit A, right stick up. Now I'm locked in and I can hold the stick down. Ball snapped. I'm going to run in, make my conservative tackle like you see right there. This is going to basically make it so you don't have to spend AP on inside stuff. I personally have gone from 2 inside stuffs in my 245, 236 defense to only having 1. I'm spending 1 AP total on inside stuff and 13 AP on coverage abilities and pass rushing abilities. So this has basically improved my run defense significantly to the point that I'm more impactful in coverage. In fact, I have what I believe to be the best coverage and coverage AP setup in Madden right now in our current vault update. In fact, you'll notice here, I'm going to include a bit of a clip of 2 plays of one of our customers on the website using just this week's vault video to actually change a game that he had lost into a win on the defensive side of the ball. That's obviously where I've spent the majority of my focus this year. If you take a look around the YouTube channels, you don't see many other YouTube content creators out there putting out defensive content for multiple reasons. One, defense is really hard this year. So there's a lot of people out there that just don't have a lot of defense to share on YouTube. And 2, basically, when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, most players tend to sit in the meta. You're talking about 3-3-5 wide or 2-4-5 odd, and everybody kind of knows those. Those are the videos that when I do the offensive side of the ball, you know, those are the defenses that I'm showing you tips against because that's all anybody runs. For me, I've always been a defensive minded guy, and I feel like, you know, some of the things that I think about defensively are things that a lot of players gloss over. You really didn't start to see the lock-in tip even being used. This was something that I put out almost a month ago now at this point on Gridiron. And I only saw a select couple players using it in the Madden Bowl, the first week of the Madden Bowl. So it's starting to get to the point where it's starting to become known a little bit, but again, this was a tip that was in the Gridiron Discord. Again, shout outs to my man MoFlow3, who is a member of the Gridiron Game Plans Discord channel. He actually gave this tip to Gridiron for us to put out for you guys. So really, really simple. Again, you can choose any player that you want, and you know, you basically just put him where you want. A, right stick up. Now your player's locked in. You're going to be able to just hold the stick down. He's not going to move. Ball snapped. You're going to be able to fly in and make that tackle. And what's really, really cool is that this isn't just an inside zone tip. If my opponents were to go into, say, regular bunch and they wanted to run base, the cool thing about this is that the same user can be used on this tip and be able to fly in. So again, you're gonna have to find your specific location, lock him in, and then when that ball snapped, you're basically going to run down and make a tackle from behind on the base. A lot of players don't really have a good base gap shoot, but this tip makes it so it's almost full. It's basically idiot proof. It really truly is. If you know where to stand, you can lock him in, be right there. If they decide to try to switch it up on you and audible to something else, now all of a sudden you just go out, you just basically have to cancel, reposition, relock him in, and you're going to be good to go. Ball snapped, you're going to fly in and, you know, make that tackle from behind. Obviously, I'm notorious for missing my wide open tackles on this YouTube channel, but you see that the tip is tried and true once you find a location for that player. But again, when it comes to the halfback base, I like to kind of stand on the running back side, lock him in kind of outside shoulder of the tackle on the running back side, and then run right down through the tackle. And you're going to see here that it kind of gives you that gap shoot really easily. Again, this is something you can do on the other side as well. If they were to audible into base and you lock in and you feel like you're in a good spot and then they flip their base, all you have to do at this point is flip flop over to the other guy. Maybe you shift your defensive line, you kind of lab up, you know, that aspect of it a little bit. But again, you're just going to kind of lock in and then try to fly down. And you see right there that if you shoot the gap effectively, either they're going to let you come through or they're going to pull somebody at the point of attack away from the point of attack. So you see right here, when we take a look, you actually see number 67 pulls against the grain to pick me up. And then that makes it so they don't have anybody to really block the middle linebacker on this play. So your gap shoots are obviously, you're going to have to lab them a little bit, but this is a really, really phenomenal tip. It's something that you're going to be able to use against a variety of different runs. Another run that I want to show you that this works against, as I have to comb that mustache out of my mouth again, is the 0-1 trap. So a lot of players like the 0-1 trap as well. It doesn't look like we actually have any of those to speak of here, believe it or not. Oh, yes, we do. So with this particular tip, again, you kind of just have to understand where's the hole. So on an 0-1 trap here, you've got the left guard pulling. So much like a base, you're going to lock in a very same manner. And you're going to kind of try to fly in through that middle, and it kind of just creates a different lane for you to shoot. Now, you might want to practice offset versus regular traps. You see right there that it kind of blocked a little bit differently. So maybe if you line up a little bit further this way, this is what I'm talking about, where you try to look and see. You notice that when I lined up a little bit closer to the outside shoulder of the tackle, he didn't block me. When I lined up head up on the tackle, he did. So you see right here, when I do this, lock him in, you see how he picks me up? That's not what you want, right? You want to get a clean shot. So naturally, you're going to go in, kind of figure out, okay, well, what if I line up, outside shade on the tackle and kind of lock in here and then hold in down and inside? Does that allow me? Okay, maybe it doesn't there, but it changes how things are blocked up front. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention to things like that. There's always the tried and true of 0-1 trap of pinch your line, crash up, and then just kind of fly through the middle. A lot of players like to do that as well. That's another gap shoot that I've used for years against the 0-1 trap. So you don't necessarily have to do the offset gap shoot. This one right here, just lock in your middle linebacker and fly straight through the middle. And if they block you, they're not going anywhere because there's no hole up the middle. They've got to stay inside of that trap block, which is really, really key with this. So again, as you kind of lab through this, you see just how easily you can find your gap shoots, and you're never going to have to worry about timing the snap. That's the most important part. Yes, I know some of you fools are going to use this for toxic reasons. You can absolutely put the corner there off the edge, lock him in, and manual rush. That is 100% something you can do. And your opponents are going to have to be accountable for that. Yes, there are toxic traits that you can possess when using this tip. So if you guys are facing somebody who does this, obviously you're gonna have to pay special attention to it, because yes, you can absolutely fly in off the edge. I'm not good at it. I don't personally do it, but there are gonna be those of you that master this technique as well. But that is today's tip: how to improve any run defense by locking your user in place. It does have application as a pass rushing tool as well. Hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, and always make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel as we push for 12,000 subscribers. And if you guys want more, head over to gridirongameplans.gg. Until tomorrow, this is Zayn. Get in the lab, and good luck.